Hi y'all, welcome to the Sugar Scoop. I'm sugar and cake artist Shelby Bauer, and welcome to my new series, Stories in Sugar, where I make an over-the-top cake creation while chatting about interesting topics. Today our topic is the moon. Follow along as I make an amazing floating moon cake. My inspiration for this cake was more of a stylized design, like a moon that you would see in a claymation film. This cake was a big project to tackle. We had to build a cake stand that would hold the cake from a bar in the back center. My goal was to create the illusion that the moon cake was floating when you look at it from the front. Make sure that you watch until the end so you can see me cut a slice out of the moon cake. I painted the whole thing black so that it would disappear into the background. And I used a piece of wood to cut out our cake board. The cake stand was made more like a backdrop that was holding the cake from a bar in the back center. I used foam and foil to make the bottom part of the sphere. I have made an all-sphere cake, all cake before, but because this cake was also floating in midair, I decided to go a safer route. There is still plenty of cake even with it cut in half, and it will look cohesive once we frost and finish it. I chose a red velvet cake with cream cheese frosting. Why cream cheese, you ask? Well, have you ever heard that the moon is made of cheese? This came from a Serbian fable about the wolf and the fox. A fox is being hunted by a wolf. The fox points out a much better snack than him. He says, "Oh look, wolf, there's a huge block of cheese floating over there in the river." And he points to the reflection of the moon floating on top of the water's surface. He says to the wolf, "All you have to do is drink all the water in the river, and then you'll be able to eat the big giant block of cheese." The wolf is totally convinced that the reflection of the moon in the water is actually a big giant block of cheese, and so he takes the fox up on his idea and he drinks all the water in this river. The wolf drinks so much water that he explodes, and the clever fox gets away. Carving and frosting a cake into a sphere is actually really hard, but I think I did a decent job. Another old reference to the moon being made of cheese was an English proverb from the 16th and 17th century. The moon is made of green cheese, which is a pretty dumb proverb if you ask me. Instead of fondant on this cake, to make the texture of the moon's surface, I chose a thick chocolate ganache frosting and royal icing. Creating models of the moon is actually a very interesting topic. Have you ever heard of Project Lola? Probably not, but it's super interesting. Project Lola was a large-scale moon model project that NASA developed to preview what landing on the moon would look like. When I say large scale, I mean it. These models were huge. The project cost nearly $2 million, and that's almost $15 million in 2020 money. They hired artists to meticulously recreate the surface of the moon on 4 large-scale models. Then they built a track that went through the models that a pilot would ride through, so they could get a visual of what it would look like to land on the moon. So NASA pretty much built a $15 million moon roller coaster. I am a huge roller coaster fanatic. I would love to ride a realistic moon roller coaster. Let's petition NASA to bring it back. It didn't actually help much with anything related to the moon landing, besides being fun and really beautiful. Not long after the Apollo mission, Project Lola was dismantled. I used a paintbrush to manipulate the ganache and icing into the craters and shapes that I wanted. I painted the moon with edible food coloring using my airbrush machine. Did you know that each month the full moon has a new name? I'm sure you've heard of the harvest moon in September, or maybe the wolf moon in January, but there's also the strawberry moon in June and the death moon in March. The strawberry moon is the last full moon of spring. It's named the strawberry moon because of the relatively short season for harvesting strawberries in the northeastern United States. The old European name for this moon is the honeymoon. Around the end of June was when honey was ready for harvesting. This might be where the term honeymoon, as it relates to marriage, came from. The last full moon of winter is named the death moon. I'm guessing because it's the last full moon of winter. The death of winter. You might say I'm a lunatic for making this floating moon cake. Ever wonder where lunatic comes from? Well, you can thank the moon. They used to think that fits of epilepsy and madness were diseases caused by the moon. By the way, if you want to watch another Sugar and Stories episode where we make an epic volcano cake together, check out the description. I'm going to link it below. Remember our friend Pliny the Elder from my volcano video? Pliny wrote that the moon caused people that were susceptible to madness to go mad because the moon was too bright. It would cause sleep deprivation by lighting up what should be a dark night sky and keeping people awake. They called people that were mentally affected by the moon lunatics or moonstruck. In Shakespeare's Othello, the maid Emilia tells Othello that the moon has drawn too close to Earth and driven men insane. It was also common belief that the moon would affect fevers, arthritis, and other diseases. This kind of thinking isn't exactly over with. Many people today believe that the full moon has an effect on the human body, mentally and physically. There is still a lot of mystery surrounding the moon. What do you think? Do you think the moon affects us? This cake turned out so magical. I'm so happy with it. Now let's cut into our moon cake. If you guys had fun making this floating moon cake with me, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like these. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.